Yeah, it's a good point. We've had one Tuesday to this point, so hopefully we'll get on a little bit of a routine. But appreciate everybody's flexibility. Obviously had a tough but great day yesterday in Maryland with the Brzee family. What a beautiful celebration of Ella. It was amazing, and we had a lot of players that were able to go, and everyone who spoke just did an amazing job of really capturing the beauty of Ella, the joy of Ella, and what she meant to so many people. So it was a little different day. Obviously, practiced late last night, but appreciate everyone's flexibility in getting together today. We're excited about our first division road game. Obviously, we've got one conference win, and that's always great. But now you get into division play. We got 5 straight division games coming up, and they're critical. And to be able to go on the road and win is what it takes if you're going to win your league. You got to win on the road. And so our next goal is to win the division, and it's already in progress, obviously, after 3 games as we're building our team and 1 conference game already. But this is a huge game for us. It's a huge game for Wake. This is 2 good football teams that are both, improving, and both teams want the exact same thing. So, it comes down to, being able to execute and do the things that you have to do to execute your plan to win. And Wake is an outstanding team. Dave is a friend. I've probably spent more time with Dave Clawson over the last 3 years than probably any coach. And when I say spend time, either in person, but a lot of phone calls, a lot of conference calls, a lot of Zoom calls, and he's just one of the great people in the profession, and he does an amazing job. I mean, they evaluate well, they teach, coach, and develop well, and this is one of the more veteran teams out there. Certainly, his most veteran team that he's had. I mean, this is a really good group. Rarely does Wake beat itself. You have to beat them. I mean, they rarely beat themselves. They've got some uniqueness as far as what they do on both sides of the ball, and you've got to really be disciplined. But starts with the guys in the trenches. I mean, they're really good on both sides. I mean, our offensive line, they've played 1 million snaps. Got a bunch of active dudes on that D line. They flat get after you. They know they rush the passer. They're physical in the run game. Linebackers are really good. They've always been one of the better secondaries. As long as I've been the head coach, they've always had one of the better secondaries that we see. They challenge you. They play with good technique. They play with confidence. They're physical. They do a good job on competitive plays, tracking the ball, playing the ball in the air. Safeties are good tacklers and aggressive. Just a complete football team. And really, honestly, have been that way for quite a while. This isn't just, the first year. I mean, Dave's had these guys. They've been to a bunch of bowl games in a row. They've won a bunch of big games, and obviously they won the division last year. You don't get lucky and win the division. And that same group, for the most part, is back. I think they're elite at receiver. They've got really good skill, guys that can, run, catch, change direction, really understand the nuances of the position. Some veteran guys that have played a lot of ball there. Both backs are outstanding. Really, they got 3 backs. The third back had a good day on us last year. So it's a good group from top to bottom, all across the board, and will be a big challenge for us. But we're super excited. It's going to be our first noon game. So, having that, turn around and kind of as we prepare our schedule of preparation, it will be a different thing, but I'm sure it'll be a great crowd, blackout and all that. But our guys are excited about the challenge and the opportunity to stay in control of our destiny. I mean, we can't go to Wake and win the division. Can't lose it either, but you can't win it, and but you can stay in control, and that's what we prefer. That's the strategy that you'd like to have, and not have to sit around and kind of hope this happens and hope that happens. You'd like to stay in control of your own destiny, and to do that, you got to go on the road and you got to win against good football teams. So this is a nationally ranked team for a reason, and we'll have to play well. Probably play our best game to this point. Any questions?
Coach, Wake's had one of the better offenses in the country the last couple of years, but y'all have really stifled that offense. What's been the key to really blowing up that slow mesh RPO that they've got?
Well, they score 42 points a game, and every one of the top scoring offenses last year, I think going in our game last year, they were leading the country in 30-plus yard plays. So they're explosive, and they're built to score. And it is unique because it creates a lot of conflict. I mean, and then you got a guy like Hartman who's, he's like a coach out there, and he knows where the manipulation is. He knows where the matchup is, and he'll hold that ball, to the last second. Honestly, I mean, we have. I think what has helped us more than anything is just playing complementary football. Because that's been the key. When we've been able to get them out of their rhythm and out of their game plan, just by kind of complimenting, getting some stops. I think last year we had, I think 4 straight stops, punt, and then we come out, we hit, we get some points, and got up. I think it was 17-3. And then all of a sudden, with our defense, it kind of gets them out of their plan a little bit, maybe out of rhythm. And, that's been more the key than anything. We've played a lot of complementary football against them. And so, that's what it takes. I mean, it can't just be defense because they're going to make plays. I mean, this is, like I said, they score on anybody. I mean, they're really, really good. They will make plays, so we have to complement our defense. We've got to be efficient on offense. We got to be sound in the kicking game. You got to win that battle within the battle. You don't want to put these guys on short fields. So, we've done a good job up front. I think our guys have been disruptive in the trenches. We've made some competitive plays, and that's what this game comes down to. So, again, you got a lot of the same people, man. They're really good up front. We're good in the D-line. I think they're really good in the D-line. We're much improved in the offensive line. So, it kind of starts there. And then I think, again, just complementary football. Not be one-dimensional and think you're going to hold up against these guys.
Do you know what Kari's reasoning was for deciding to?
I don't think he liked where he is, depth chart. And, again, that's as I said the last time, it's 2022. That's really not much of a story anymore to me, to be honest with you. It's going to be a every year deal in college football. Great kid, really good kid, and very talented, really talented player, and has a bright future. He's just got to continue to mature and grow and really commit to being the best he can be. But he can do it for sure. So he just, nothing negative. I mean, he loved his time here and appreciate everybody. He just guys aren't patient much anymore. So just kind of again, that's the world we live in. So just wish him well and keep moving.
Coach, is Brian handling things about as well as anyone could hope to?
Yeah, he is. I mean, it's been yesterday was a tough, long day for sure, and he's been through a lot. I mean, it's been a long journey, but certainly kind of culminating with the Furman game, and then 4+ days in the hospital, all day, every day, and just the emotions of that, and then the closure that comes with it, with just yesterday, and so it'll be this will be something he'll deal with for the rest of his life for sure. But he's got a great support group, got an amazing family. They really, and I think Ella, just her words, her joy, things she wrote. Hopefully they can all take some peace in that. But we certainly keep our arms around him, and I know he's looking forward to getting back with his teammates and playing some ball.
Dabo seen Wake didn't maybe do as much slow mesh last week. What kind of challenges did they present outside of that?
Well, I mean, they've always had a little bit of a mixture. They don't always run the slow mesh. I mean, they'll run some normal stuff too, but the biggest challenge is just their explosiveness. I mean, those guys outside and the combination of the back. I mean, there's a lot of conflict with your backers, because you want to come get them, right? But as soon as you do, if they're blocking you up front, it creates huge gaps and huge windows to throw the football. And he's a savvy, accurate thrower. So it's just and then same thing at safety. You got to be really patient. You got to have your eyes on the right things, and you've got to be very, very disciplined at that position because there's just a lot of conflict going on. So they mix it up, and again, they create and force matchups because of the nature of how they play. You can't. Hartman is so good and smart. You can't. If you just throw one pitch at him, you're in trouble. You have to be multiple. You've got to change it up. You gotta disguise things. And that's always been a part of it. But they always have a good plan. And again, it's still going to be based on what they do, and that's running the ball and the RPOs off of it, and then the shots and making competitive plays, double moves. Again, a lot of play action protection. That creates space and gaps in coverage.
Coach Collin was hopeful that Sharon would be able to go. Do you have an update on him? And out of all those guys that missed the game last week, is there anybody you definitely know will not play?
I think we're in a much better spot. We're not going to put out a list until we'll do our availability list on Saturday, but we're in a good place. Guys are we're getting some guys back. We've got a couple guys that, just like any time of the year, you got some guys that may be game day type decisions day to day, but right now we like where we are.
Coach, Shipley had 139 yards the other day, but only 12 carries. How much of a benefit is it having those other guys, Pace and Maffa, as productive as they are, not only keeping Will's legs fresh late in games, but as you go deep into the season?
It's critical. I mean, he's averaging a bunch of yards per touch right now. I mean, however he touches the ball, he's an explosive player. But yeah, being able to keep him fresh is and again, the totality of the season, hard to do that if you feel like there's a big drop off. Right, but we have the same thing. I think we got the same thing at back that we have at DN. As XT comes back, we got four grown men that can flat out play the position, and obviously only two can go out there. So the fact that you don't have a lot of drop on, and Kevin ain't no slouch either. So the fact that you don't have a lot of drop off there, and you can sub, it allows you. It's good for the totality of the season, but freshness of the game, explosive plays, it helps you there. And I think we have the same thing at running back. I think, Shipley has and they're different. They're different, but they all will have that game as we go through the season. They all will. Every single one of them. There's going to be a game where Maffa's going to go off. And everybody's going to be like, man, get that guy the ball more. And then there's going to be a game that Kobe had an unbelievable game in this game last year. He had 100-something yards, I think. There you go. He had a big game. So he's going to have multiple games where he just that's just kind of where we are. We're really fortunate, really blessed with those three guys, and trust them. They work hard. They complement each other. Shipley is different for sure. He just brings a passion and an energy that I think lifts everybody, and he's just relentless. But all those guys will have opportunities to help us.
Did you say XT is back or when he
He's coming back. Yeah,
Saturday.
maybe. Maybe. I'm hopeful.
You still, who keeps your touch chart now that your sons are all?
Yeah, I got one of our staffers on the sideline that I just give it to every week that keeps it. He just so I can look at it.
Is there an optimum number, like at halftime, hypothetically for like Shipley? And what
Well,
you
not as much, because again, you might have you score in two plays, so it's not always that simple, we had two 30+ yard touchdown, one play drives the other day, so that affects things. It's more about feel of the game, and sometimes we make it too hard, right? Maybe we're struggling or something, but you look down and you're like, man, this is about players. It's not plays, it's players. And let's make sure we're getting those players opportunity to touch the ball. So I've just always been mindful of that. And that just goes back to, and then, what's happening on first and second down, on both sides. I've always just try to have a feel for inflow of the game. But it goes back to very beginning as an interim, when I didn't think we were using C.J. Spiller the way we needed to. And, and I think that was part of him coming back too, because I told him, I was like, and we demonstrated that, the latter part of the game. I'm like, man, we're making this way too complicated. Let's get the ball to the guys who can make play. You got to block and all that stuff, but players make plays, and if you don't give them opportunity to make plays, how are they going to do it? So always trying to create matchups and one-on-one matchups and take shots and but it's all predicated through the run game. So I remember back in those days, I came in one half, we were struggling. I looked down, C.J. Spiller's got like 2 touches. I'm like, or I didn't even have a touch chart. I was like, how many touches? Oh, he had like 2. I'm like, well, what is wrong with us? We've lost our mind here. And so I ended that, starting that next week and going to Boston College. I'm like, we're gonna have us a touch chart here, and I'm gonna make sure that we're forcing the ball where it needs to go, and giving guys opportunity to make plays. And so I've just always, kept up with that, and getting guys engaged. Sometimes guys can get frozen over on the sideline, so sometimes you just have to create opportunity for a guy to get the ball, and then sometimes you just have a special player that's a problem. That you got to create mismatches for, but we just try to have some balance. And again, some years you have, one guy that's just better. And some of these teams we play, they got one guy, the others are okay, but they got one guy. We fortunately have always, past years that's what's made us so good is we've had more than one guy. We've been able to attack you lots of different ways. We have multiple guys who can make plays, and so that creates, the type of balance and selflessness and those type of things that I think wins at the highest level. So anyway, that's why.